All right. So there is a difference when you're reaching out, right? So when you're networking with peers, I think it's really, really important to start there, because in corporate America, it is your peers who will push you up. That's just all there is to it. There are some people who are great at communicating and managing up. It's the peers that push you up. So help them along the way, right? But when you're looking for a mentor or a sponsor or advocate, that's a little different. And I'm going to start by defining them, okay? So a sponsor or advocate would be somebody who is at the company with you, who may not necessarily be in your upline, but who is up. It's the person who talks for you and represents you in the room when you're not there. Because I got to be honest, a ton of hiring happens because of networks, right? It's who you know, but it almost always comes down to a soundbite. It's one of the things the executives will never tell you, but once you've seen it happen in the room, you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe that it comes down to that. You have done applications, you've done resumes, you've done projects, you built a portfolio, you built a 90-day plan. In the end, it's 6 people sitting around a conference room and you get about a 20-second soundbite. Oh yeah, Stephanie, she's that blah, 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 blah. It's weird, but true. Shouldn't be true, but it is. So you want somebody who knows you really well and who gets invited into that room often to be the person who provides your soundbite, right? Otherwise it's conjecture. It's the impression that's like telephone, right? That somebody heard, that somebody heard, that somebody heard in a big company. All right. So that's a sponsor or an advocate. And you want that person, absolutely. A mentor is sometimes the same thing, but very often a mentor is going to stick with you longer, right? A mentor is somebody who's with you for years. One of my mentors was one of my first bosses. Then he wound up hiring me again, and he's still a mentor 20 years later. So that would be, they may not be in your company, but it's somebody that you can go and talk to about your boss, where you can't really do that with the sponsor or the advocate, right? All right, cool. So how do you network with them? So at a peer level, what you do is, hey, how are you? And how can I help? And saw you at so-and-so. So here's how we're mutually connected. And now I want to offer help in one way or another, okay? And you do it as much as you can, give to get. And when you're going up, you're really asking them for their time. And the busier you get and the higher you get in an organization, the more precious that is, right? I have reps that call me and I'm like, hey, can I have 30 minutes? I'd rather give you $400. I don't have 30 minutes. Okay. No, you can't. You got to earn that. So I want all of us to remember that when you're asking somebody to be a mentor or a sponsor for you, you're asking for regular bits of their time. And what usually works very well in this situation is some flattery, right? You need to let that person know why you've picked them. Right? I've been admiring you for X period of time. I love how you handled A, B, and C. I saw you speak at blah, 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 blah. Okay. I would be honored if I could have you as a mentor, sponsor, advocate, whatever really works, right? You don't have to justify it, but at that point, you got to sell yourself just a little bit, right? I'm really eager to move up. I love leading people. I have been at Dell for 20 years and want to be here for another 20. Like, you need a soundbite there that says, I'm not a stranger off the street. I'm not a whack job. I'm intelligent. I'm fabulous. And I'm somebody you should invest in. Does that hopefully make sense to everybody? Right. And then from there, the most important thing you can do is own it. Okay. I've had people ask me to be their mentor and then disappear. I've had people ask me to mentor and no show to meetings. I've had people ask me to mentor and then get to the call and just sit there like I'm supposed to tap dance or something. Like, I'm not here to entertain you, girl. You gotta bring the agenda. You gotta book the meetings. You gotta book the follow-up. You gotta bring value. You gotta bring questions, right? You gotta own that, and you gotta keep owning it. I've been so impressed with the women who will have a few meetings and then keep going, right? They book it the next month and they book it the next month and they book it the next month. And it's some of the most valuable conversations and relationships I've ever had. But it only kept going because they drove it, right? And they were compelling when they asked. I don't know. I hope that's helpful.